With quarterback Patrick Mahomes just signing a mega contract, does that mean Josh Allen could be next? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a player comparison edition of Believers Talk, where we're going to take a look at Patrick Mahomes and his $500 million contract, and we're going to ask ourselves, is that the kind of money we could see Josh Allen making at his next contract? Before we do that, guys, I want to remind everyone, if you're new to this channel, guys, hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports news. After you hit that subscribe button, you want to hit that notification bell. YouTube will notify you when we put out new content, so you want to make sure you hit that notification bell. While you're here, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, and leave a comment. What do you think the chances are of Josh Allen signing such a mega deal? We're talking 10-year, $500 million contract like we just saw Patrick Mahomes sign. Now, guys, according to the new CBA, Josh Allen cannot sign a new contract until he's done with his third year in the NFL. So obviously there's still a year left for the Buffalo Bills to sit back and look and see what Josh Allen has and if he is the quarterback of the future for the Buffalo Bills. But what does Josh Allen need to do to be put up with the Patrick Mahomes type level? And guys, if you want the short answer to will Josh Allen receive the type of contract that Patrick Mahomes just got, my answer is going to be no, right? Stop watching this video. You got my answer. No, there's no way, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that Josh Allen can do in 2020 that would warrant the type of money that Patrick Mahomes got just this past offseason. Okay, there's nothing he can do. And I'm gonna tell you why. If you want to take a look at the numbers, we can look at the numbers. That's what I'm going to do. If you don't want to look at numbers, we're 2 minutes into this video, and I'm telling you right now, there is nothing Josh Allen can do to make that type of money. It's just not going to happen. 10 years, $500 million. It's just not going to happen with the way Josh Allen has performed in his first 2 seasons. Compared to how Patrick Mahomes performed in his first 2 seasons, there's just nothing that Josh Allen can do. Remember, his second full season in the league, Patrick Mahomes, actually, I think it's his first. Yeah, this was his second. So his first full season in the league, I should say, Patrick Mahomes won NFL MVP, right? So, and now his second full season in the league, he already has won a Super Bowl, and he was named Super Bowl MVP on top of that. So stars are looking bright for Josh Allen. They're looking much brighter for Patrick Mahomes, and we see that with that contract extension. But let's go over some of these numbers for some of you who are skeptics. First of all, let me know in the comment section, do you think there is something that Josh Allen can do to warrant that type of money? And I'm going to tell you why I just don't think there is. So first, let's take a look at the newly signed Patrick Mahomes, or newly extended Patrick Mahomes, I should say. And let's take a look at what he's produced over his first 3 seasons in the NFL. Now, remember, Patrick Mahomes pretty much sat all of his first season behind Alex Smith, right? He started 1 game, went 1-0 in that game. However, he did not perform up to what we now know as Patrick Mahomes standards. Did not throw a touchdown pass, actually threw an interception in his first start in the NFL. So you can take that into account if you'd like, but I'm looking at all the games Patrick Mahomes has played over his first 3 seasons in the NFL, playing in 16 games in his second season. I believe he played in 15 or 14 games. Will be 14 games, actually, looking at the total here. 14 games last season. So he's played in 31 games, started 31 games in his NFL career, and he has gone 24-7. So let's compare that to Josh Allen, because remember, it's all about winning, right? And yes, I know the teams are not the same. Yes, I know the coaching staffs are not the same. In fact, I know that we have 2 totally different coaching philosophies, right? Or at least at the head coach position you do. You have Andy Reid in Kansas City. Andy Reid's an offensive guy. Andy Reid's a quarterback guru. Andy Reid has done magic with these offenses, right? Not just in Kansas City, but also in Philadelphia. He's made Alex Smith look really good, made Donovan McNabb look really good. He made a guy named Nick Foles look really good, and now he's making Patrick Mahomes, who is also talented enough to do it himself, but make Patrick Mahomes look really good. Then you go over to the Buffalo Bills. You're talking about Coach Sean McDermott, right? Defensive guy. And neither philosophy is right. Neither philosophy is wrong as long as you're winning, right? So we know that Josh Allen's numbers will not match those of Patrick Mahomes. It just is not going to happen. But if you take a look at wins and losses, Patrick Mahomes 24-7, Josh Allen in 27 starts, 15-12. So even if he wins his next 4 starts to make 31, he would still be 19-12 compared to 24-7 for Patrick Mahomes. And obviously, where you win and when you win is just as important. Kansas City Chiefs have won 2 divisions while Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback. What have the Buffalo Bills done? Well, we made a wild card appearance, right? We made it to wild card. Now, yes, we've had TB12, the Evil Empire, running our division. But beating those guys matters. Winning those division crowns matters, right? To the owners, to the GMs, all the way down. You have to start winning those games, winning those divisions, winning those conference championships if you want to get big money down the road, especially at that quarterback position, the position that's really pretty much the field general when it comes to on the field action, right? If you look at one leader for a team, you want it to be their quarterback. And I think we have that in Josh Allen, but I also think the Chiefs have that in Patrick Mahomes. I am really looking forward to matchups between Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen for a long time to come. I think this could become a very good rivalry. I will not say that will be as big as Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see them play each other in playoffs 5, maybe 6 times throughout their career, and maybe even go a little back and forth, right? Now, we do know that there are times where quarterbacks just have an edge over another team. You know, we saw it with Tom Brady over Peyton Manning most of the time, so maybe we have that type of scenario going on where the Bills can't get past the Chiefs, or vice versa. The Chiefs just can't get past the Bills. But I do expect to see these 2 young quarterbacks playing against each other, maybe having an impact on who makes the Super Bowl for the AFC for a long time to come, and they'll run into each other along the way. So we'll see plenty of more wins and losses from both these guys, but we're looking at what we can get out of Josh Allen is next season at the quarterback position. Josh Allen goes 16-0 next season. He would be 31-12, still more losses than what Patrick Mahomes had after 31 games with the Kansas City Chiefs after 3 seasons there. Now, you do have to admit, Josh Allen was kind of thrown into the fire, right? His first season, his rookie year, Nathan Peterman did not exactly turn out to be as good or even close to as good of a quarterback as the Buffalo Bills were hoping for. Kind of get thrown in there halftime of the San Diego Chargers game, I believe it was, or Baltimore Ravens game. I forget which one off the top of my head. But so you do have to give that to Josh Allen as well. You look at Patrick Mahomes' completion percentage. He has completed 65.9% of his passes. Almost 66% of his passes have been completed. He has thrown for more accuracy looking the other way than most quarterbacks have looking at the wide receivers. So you look at Josh Allen's completion percentage over his career so far, 56.3, right? That's one of the topics of conversation that all the haters are talking about. Look at his completion percentage. Us as Bills fans, we're saying, hey, that's going to go up this year. And it might. It could. I'm not saying it can't. It can hit some pretty high numbers, maybe even low 60s, right? But just think about this for a second. I did the math, and it comes out like this. In order for Josh Allen to hit 65.9% completion percentage in 2020 for his career, he'd have to complete his next 219 passes in a row. He'd have to complete almost 220 passes in a row to hit Patrick Mahomes' completion percentage numbers after his 3rd year. I mean, that's going to be a hard feat. I don't think he's going to get that done. Obviously, as Bills fans, we want to see that completion percentage go up, but unless it's close to 80% this year, he's not going to match what Patrick Mahomes has done so far in his career at 66% completion percentage. You look at the yards after 31 games, Patrick Mahomes has thrown for 9,412 yards. That's 303.6 yards per game. If you multiply that by 16, that's almost 5,000 yards per 16 games, 4,857.8 yards per 16 games. That's unbelievable, right? You talk about almost 5,000 yards a season up until the most recent era of Drew Brees and Peyton Manning and I was about to say Eli sucks, and Tom Brady, you didn't see guys throw for 5,000 yards. I think prior to the Matthew Stafford, Drew Brees, and all them throwing for 5,000 yards, I think Dan Marino was the only one to do it up until 2006, 2007, when it seemed to be more regular of an occurrence. So obviously it's not that big of an occurrence, and yet we have Patrick Mahomes here almost averaging that after 2 full seasons of football. You look at Josh Allen, you want to compare numbers, right? In 27 games, Josh Allen's thrown for 5,163 yards, just under 200 yards a game at 191.22. You multiply that by 16, you get 3,059 yards per 16 games. Per 16 games. So a 16-game season, you're getting just over 3,050 yards out of Josh Allen. We're going to talk about rushing numbers too. So for those of you sitting there saying, hey, don't forget Josh Allen, dual threat. You gotta love his running capabilities. Much more of a dual threat than Patrick Mahomes is, and we are going to talk about that in a minute. But listen, guys, what I want on my quarterback is someone who could pass the ball. And I'm not saying Josh Allen can't do that. He can, but obviously not as good of a clip as Patrick Mahomes. So again, as I said 2 minutes into this video, can Josh Allen be a $500 million quarterback? Just the answer is no. The answer is no, because by the time he signs his next contract, hopefully with the Buffalo Bills, by the time that one's up, he's not going to have a 10-year contract in him. So I just don't see it happening. He's not going to sign that much money. Now, I did just watch a video from Hashtag Sports. Again, if you're not following Hashtag Sports, be sure to do that. And Paul and I would agree, Paul from Hashtag Sports would agree on Josh Allen's next contract, somewhere between 7-8 years, 350 million. He brings up some great points in that live stream, so if you didn't check it out before, make sure you check it out. So I won't get into those numbers here, but him and I would agree around that number, and to me that's really high. That's really high for Josh Allen, but that's the type of season he could have this year that could impact how much he gets paid in that contract extension moving forward. So 30 touchdowns for Josh Allen, 76 for Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about passing touchdowns so far. 21 interceptions for Josh Allen, 18 interceptions for Patrick Mahomes. So again, more games for Patrick Mahomes, less interceptions. That's pretty impressive there as well. And he's more than double Josh Allen in the touchdown department. So let's talk about the running numbers, because I'm sure there's a lot of you out there like, oh, well, Josh Allen can run. So obviously he makes up for a lot of that stuff with his running capabilities, and that he does, okay? He does. His rushing numbers are better than Patrick Mahomes. But are they that much better? Like, is it worth that much more money to give to offset those passing numbers? No, it's not even close. So Patrick Mahomes, in his career, in his 2+ seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs, 110 rush attempts, 500 yards. That's only 16 yards a game, only about 4 carries a game. 4 TDs, 12 fumbles, right? So less than a 1.5 or less than 2. Excuse me, guys. That's 2 touchdowns a season, right? On average, 2 touchdowns a season, 6 fumbles per 16 games as well. Look at Josh Allen. You're talking 198 rushes, so a few more rush attempts in his first 2 seasons. 1,141 yards for Josh Allen so far, more than double what Patrick Mahomes has in rushing. 7.1 attempts per game, 40.8 yards per game, averaging out to be just over. Excuse me here, guys. 40. I didn't do the math there for yards per season, so I'll do that later. But yeah, so 7.1 attempts per game, 40.8 yards per game, 17 touchdowns, 22 fumbles. 22 fumbles. You're talking about 11 fumbles a season so far for Josh Allen, and he hasn't played. He hasn't played a full 2 seasons, right? He hasn't played 32 games. So when you're looking at how, fumbles per 16 games, it's close to 13 fumbles per 16 games, and then you're talking about almost 10 touchdowns a season as well. So that's something that you could put in the cap of Josh Allen, right? We saw him; he had the most touchdowns at any QB last season, and that's great. That's wonderful, but it doesn't make up for the passing deficiency that he has compared to Patrick Mahomes. So, like I said in the beginning, can Josh Allen be worth up to $500 million? No, there's nothing he can do this season. He can go 3-0 in the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, become Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes already has all that, right? And then you have to talk about consistency. Let's not pretend like consistency does not matter. It does. And that's something Patrick Mahomes has shown over his first 2 seasons. If Patrick Mahomes didn't get injured in 2019, he would have been right there in the conversation for MVP. But you just couldn't stop Lamar Jackson. He was just on a tear this year. So that's why he won that MVP trophy, and well-deserved, of course, as well. But yeah, you figure Josh Allen go 3-0 in the playoffs, win himself a Super Bowl, and win himself MVP throughout the year, and he still wouldn't match up to what Patrick Mahomes has done throughout his career. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think somehow Josh Allen could be worth $500 million in his next contract extension, or do you think that's just a little too high? And by a little too high, I mean a lot too high. Again, Paul from Hashtag Sports, I saw his video earlier, would agree. 7-8 years, $300 million or so, and that's a lot of money. That's no chump change, right? And that's what we think maybe you could see Josh Allen fall into place come his next contract extension. But we do hope that's right here with the Buffalo Bills. Again, I hope to see Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes fighting back and forth, tooth and nail, throughout the AFC for the next 10+ seasons. Would love that as Bills fans. We'd love to go back and forth with the Chiefs and maybe have us two pretty much control AFC for the next decade. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have not subscribed to Billievers Talk, hit that subscribe button, like this video. I look forward to seeing you all soon, talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.